how a battle with cancer transformed our indie game, y'all. So let me show you what it transformed our indie game from. So we were prototyping, and when we originally started out, this is what we came up with. And I'm gonna tell y'all, man, this prototype was not fun, but I'll show you what we got. So basically the idea, I just had a vision of a large golem that can make small golems. And the small golems, you would have different type of abilities. So here we have E with Ice Boy, and R we have Bomb Boy. And so I'll show you what this looks like. So with E, you could throw Ice Boy, the small golem, and then you can punch that block into enemies, but I just missed them. Then you have Bomb Boy, and that one destroys the enemy as well. And so the Ice Boy, the idea with the Ice Boy was that you can like use it also for platforming, so I could jump on top of this block. And this is all we had, y'all. Like, you know, we had these procedural levels. It was cool to see something because, you know, you got to start somewhere, and that was the most important thing that I was excited about us starting, but this just wasn't fun. So we had to go back to the drawing board. So when I went back to the drawing board, I'm like, all right, you know, what exactly do we do? Like, how, you know, I started doing more research, and I found this book called Level Up, and it said you have to find a theme. So right around this time, y'all, my mom hits me up and she's like, hey, y'all, Aunt Donna caught cancer. She's going to move in with me. I'm going to take care of her so that we can, you know, we could beat this thing. So I was like, oh, wow. I was like, okay. So I ended up going back to Maryland for some time to help my mother with my aunt. At this time, you know, I had somebody in my life who had passed from cancer, and she, you know, at that time I was a lot younger, and I was really thinking back in that moment, like how much I really wanted to help her and, you know, be able to beat it. So this inspired me to really step forward and do something. And so I started doing my research to try to help my aunt. When I did that, I found this guy on the internet called Chris Beats Cancer. Let me see here. And basically I was like, wow, like just listening to his story, he did chemotherapy, he did surgery, and he basically was like, the cancer, he thought the cancer was gone, but it was just kind of chilling in his body, and then it showed up again. So it was never cured. And so he said he just opted out of all chemotherapy, all of that stuff. And he said he just went with natural remedies and a raw plant-based diet. And I was just like, wow. So doing the research on this, that's what influenced the plant one. That's one of the things that influenced the plant theme in the game, the current prototype that we have now, not the one that I just showed you, but I'm gonna show you another, the one, our most recent build. And so the next thing is that pretty much my aunt, man, like I told my aunt, I was like, all right, auntie, like I want to base our main character off of somebody who's in the Bible. And because, you know, I wanted to base it off principles from my faith. And I told her all these characteristics. Mind you, my aunt, she does not play video games. She's not into gaming and stuff. But when I told her this, like she was locked in, because my aunt, she was one of the primary people in my life that like really taught me a lot about the faith that I believe in. So she was just like, you know, I told her the characteristics. I was like, yeah, he's like this, he's like that, he has this, you know, he can be like this. And she was like, read the story of Joseph. And so I was like, okay. So I went in the story in Joseph in the book of Genesis, and I read the story, and I come to find out that, you know, with the several years of harvest and the several years of famine, I come to find out that Joseph was a farmer in the midst of that, and that he built a system that prepared Egypt to prevent them from starving. So I was like, yo, this is it. Like, this is the character to persona that I want to base the main character off of. And so that's where the farming thing came from. So basically I was like, all right, you know, I'm going to take my favorite genre, which is action. And, you know, there were already farming games out there like Harvest Moon. I don't think Stardew Valley was out at the time, but there was already a bunch of farming games. So I said, I'm going to combine these two genres for combat farming. That's going to be our theme. Because the Level Up book that I was reading, it said you come up with a theme. So I was like, this is going to be our theme. So basically now this right here. So then we came up with this, y'all. There we go. All right, so this is the prototype that we built after, you know, going through that experience with my aunt. This is what we came up with. So this is one of our most recent builds. And so basically we came up with the combat farming theme where you're filling up the environment with plants. And you know, the character design, everything, like everything started to come together. Everything started to come together after that experience, y'all. And so this is how we got to this game build. Big difference. And you know, we knew we had something. It was like, all right, this is fun. We took it to you know, PAX and other conventions, and we saw that people were enjoying it. We was like, yo, we got it. Like, this is it. And so you all, this is my Aunt Donna right here, you know. And while she may have passed away from Earth, from this physical realm, like, she's still with me in spirit, and I know that she's in a much better place. And the thing is, like, a lot of what she taught me in terms of my faith and just that whole experience with her, I internalized a lot of that. And that's being expressed in our indie game to this day. The game is actually going to be in memory of her because of that very experience that I had with her. If it wasn't for her, we wouldn't have came up with our main character. If it wasn't for her, we wouldn't have fully like concluded on the theme of our game. And so that's why our game is going to be in memory of her, because man, like she contributed a big role to it, you know? So yeah, man, that's exactly how a battle with cancer transformed our indie game to what it is right now. Because what we had before, I showed y'all that prototype, it was complete trash. Like, it was not fun. But what we have now, we took it to the conventions and everything. Like I said, we know we have something, and that's what we're moving forward with. So anybody that's, you know, battling cancer right now, or you know someone that's battling cancer, I definitely recommend you checking out Crispy's Cancer. You know, he has so many testimonials of people who tried his methods and that was cured. So, you know, I'm just here to tell you, like, there's options out there. And anybody who has, you know, has had a loved one who's passed and moved on, I'm just here to let you know that they are with you one way or another. Their energy is with you. You know what I mean? So just like I said, how I internalize, and I still have a lot of like the essence of what my aunt stood for and everything, like that's with me. You know what I mean? And that's never leaving. And I know for a fact that she's with me in spirit. So I love y'all, man. And make sure you, if you like the video, like it so we can, you know, spread this with as many people as possible that may help somebody who may dealing with this, or, you know, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and, you know, drop a comment, man. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know if you had some similar experiences where you had to battle with cancer, or a family member, whether it be a family member or whether it be yourself. And yeah, I'd love to hear from you. But anyway, I'm gonna catch y'all later. Peace, love, and blessings. I'm out.